Today we discussed the challenges of a large-scale project in a company. In a large company, project with millions of budget, a very critical strategic project for the company, run by two project leaders, one from the business side and the other one from the information technology side, so the IT side. And we had the meeting with the steering committee who asked us to support this project and these project leaders by project consultancy and by project coaching, as we call it, with our project management background as well as with our organizational development and coaching background. And it was very interesting to talk to those steering committee persons in order to check the activities up to now. For example, they had a project coach there before for nearly 1 year or 10 months, which was very interesting. And what they did is they worked with the project leaders one-on-one and as a team. They worked on their personalities. They did the personality review with the methodology like MBTI, like DISC or Insights, which is okay if you work with a person in a coaching session also or in a team coaching. But if you have such a huge, complex project in these difficult times with this strategic value for the company, then I think it's a too short step. So it's not adequate to work on the personal and the individual level of those two persons. So you have to tackle those kind of projects more systemically. You have to look at the process, at the project system wide. So evidence for this was, for example, when they discussed today, they said, as soon as those two persons are out of the project working in their line roles, which they have, so they are not fully in the project, they are nearly best friends. They collaborate very good, team-oriented. They are very effective and efficient in collaborating between business and IT. But as soon as they are in the project system, they start fighting, they start arguing, they have conflicts, their team members have conflicts, they have conflicts with externals. Externals are not really performing. There is high personnel turnover in the project by the externals as well as by the internals. So all kinds of problems you can find in this project. By listening, I suggested that we should work more systemically. So first we have to understand the project as a system in a fast way, not weeks or months. They don't have so much time anymore, so they have to really make this, stabilize the project, that they can reach the time goals and the goals itself, and they reach the milestones of this project. So the whole company, the management board is looking at this, and the project has high management attention, which can be critical if they don't, as I said, stabilize and optimize the situation. And our suggestion was first to work on 3 dimensions. First, as soon as we can, to find out what the stakeholders think of this project, to find out the conflicts, the problems, but also the reasons, to start to understand what is influencing what, to understand the patterns in the project, the role behavior, the roles, the missing roles or missing parts of roles, the cooperation, the teamwork, the collaboration, the resource situation, the budget situation of the project, the issue of the personnel turnover, the collaboration with the externals, because there are a lot of externals, external consultants. They are not really consultants. They are, in a way, something like body leasing. They go into the project, work like a project team member, because the internals don't have either the know-how or the capacity. So they hire people for a period of time. So it's like people for time-based employees, external employees, I would call them. I would not call them consultants. Because consultants is a very specific helping role, and consulting is not that you make others dependent on you, that you can create high turnover in terms of dollars for your organization, for your consultancy. So the first dimension of our intervention will be interviews, dialogues, checking the project charter, milestone planning, project planning, the architecture of the project, the roles, and the persons, their competencies, to check are the competencies there, so where are the conflicts, where are the problems, the challenges. The second dimension will be to work to facilitate or to be with those two project leaders which are reporting to the steering committee, and the board members are members of the steering committee, like the IT boss and like the business boss. And we would go with those two persons, so one of us taking part in team meetings, in project team meetings, taking part in jour fixes, taking part in their normal operational project work for 1 week in order to get some insight, data, information and observations, and also some feelings, what's going on, how they are running the project and leading the people, because leadership, project leadership, of course, is one of the major issues we will look at beside roles, role behavior, conflicts, cooperation, communication, and the methodology they are using, and all the different parts of the critical parts of a project like this. And the third dimension will be the project review. So the 4 weeks we have to work on the interviews, observation, 3 to 4 weeks, then summarizing all our findings, bringing some interpretation from an external view, and comparing with other projects and companies, and then having a dialogue and a reflection, an analysis in the project review workshop, which will last 1 day. It would have been better 2 days, but we don't have so much time, and the time pressure is very high. And beside this, 3 levels, and in each of these levels we want to create immediate actions, immediate optimization actions, measures, and that they can have really an immediate impact on the project success. And as I said today in the meeting with the steering, with the 2 persons and the HR, the Human Resources Department leader, that it will be very important to have from day 1 when we go into the system to have a change. So our presence and the kick-off with the project members will have an impact immediately, like observing an object, which will of course then change by the observation process. So this is in social systems, and we call this project a temporary social system or a temporary organization, which has a beginning and an end, hopefully, as a project. By the way, this is also one of the major issues to see when did they start, and the project goes back years, many years, with a lot of interventions by consultants, by coaches, and now we have to be very careful what we do and how do we work with them, and really trying to help them and to make a difference also in the approach with them.